Now, there are currently a lot of people that are going to debt, but some people are going to a crazy amount of debt just because they want to go to Disney World. And we're going to call this Disney debt. Let's take a look at this.
For a week and it was about 30 grand. We stayed here for a little over a week and it was about 30 grand.
Did you use it to pay for that trip?
No, we had savings that we had.
Which resort?
All sport. All inclusive was the way to go for us.
Okay.
Took 5 grandchildren and all their parents.
How do you get to a point to afford a vacation like that without going into debt?
Well, that was our long-term goal for retirement. Take all the kids.
Do you have any
Good
debt?
idea.
Have zero debt. I'm sitting pretty well.
Pay off a house?
I own about 3 homes and no mortgages on anything.
How early did you
Okay,
start
very nice.
investing?
I started young and I started with real estate.
What would your advice be to prepare for retirement?
It's great to take a vacation, but you have to have long-term savings, or when you get into retirement age, you'll find out you didn't have enough.
Well, you're a guy that would splurge on a vacation and a family trip. Where do you choose to save money?
I was, when I was younger, a car guy. I had to have all the best. But now that I'm older, a car is a car.
Okay.
There's no need to spend 80 grand on an automobile.
Do you think Disney's worth it?
You could do it without going overboard.
This is part 3 of how we got into massive debt, and this is one of my most embarrassing debts that we have. A few years ago, our
Whoa,
family took a trip to Disney
$128,000?
and we purchased the Disney Vacation Club, and we did so by financing it. If you don't know what the Disney Vacation Club, or DVC, is, it's kind of like a timeshare for Disney World, except instead of having one specific resort or specific weeks of the year that you get to use it, it's a point system. You buy a certain number of points, and then those points can get redeemed at any DVC resort any time of the year that they have availability. That means you can end up staying at Disney World properties, Disneyland properties, and they also have other DVC resorts like in Hawaii and in Europe, so it definitely provides like a lot of opportunity to travel. Now, with that being said, this is a very bougie luxury purchase that we had no business making. There were some incentives when we purchased, so the total cost of financing was around $27,000. Now, was this stupid? Yes, I know that. But I promise you, our hearts were in a good place, but like our financial literacy was zero. When we took this trip and made this purchase, we were a foster family. We were supposed to go on this trip with 3 kids, but then at the last second, we got placed with 2 extra kids, and we wound up rearranging everything so that way we could take those 2 kids to Disney with us. So we were traveling as a family of 7. They got placed with us only 2 weeks before the trip, so I was just coming off of like rearranging everything. We were supposed to stay at a moderate resort in a normal hotel room. We ended up switching to the cabins because the cost of trying to rent 2 hotel rooms right next to each other was super expensive, and then any sort of like suite at the luxury resorts was insanely expensive. So the cabin was the only thing that was like somewhat affordable and could fit a family of 7. So obviously I'm just coming off the adrenaline of all that rearranging of the plans, and then one super hot sunny day while we were there, we ended up at one of the DVC informational like booths where they have fans and water and they're like trying to draw you in, obviously. And we had just gone under there to get out of the sun for a few minutes. Of course, the representative starts talking to us about all the details and everything. And my husband and I are just so gullible, and we very quickly got suckered in. We went on the tour and saw the different DVC resorts and how beautiful they are. But more than just how beautiful they are, it makes access to like the suites that can fit large families a lot easier in comparison to just getting 2 rooms or getting a suite like at market value.
What is the total price of a Disney trip?
We have 3 kids. Spent around like 5 grand.
And how many days?
Wow.
Did you use credit?
$1,000 a day.
No. If we have cash for it, then we'll do it.
Do you have any other debt?
Mortgage and cars.
Car for sure. That's something I'm looking to get rid of soon. So
how much is your car balance right now?
I probably have 15 grand left on it.
We just got another car, and so I've only had it maybe like 6 months. So like all of it is left off the car.
What's your car payment on it?
$567 on mine, and then he has a Tesla.
$723.
$1,200 on car payments each month.
And then our mortgage is high.
Knock out them car payments.
We're getting rid of the Tesla, so we'll just have the 1 car.
What's your best saving tip?
Separate your bank accounts.
Okay.
We pay our bills together. Like we have joint accounts, more than 1. But his money is his money, my money is my money. We've been doing this 16 years and it works out fine.
First of all, you guys look real young.
We have a 13-year-old son. So.
What is the total price?
Are you guys in any kind of debt right now? Mine's pretty minimal, I think. Credit card and a vehicle, probably about 60.
And that's minimal.
Whoa.
No, it's a lot.
What's left on the car loan?
53.
What are you driving?
A 24 Toyota Tundra.
How about you? How much debt do you have?
Probably $75,000. Credit cards, and then a car loan as well.
What's your car loan?
Student loans, yeah, like 60.
60? What are you driving?
I was
You
terrible.
rolled over negative equity, didn't you?
Yes, I did. Yes, Honda Pilot, 25. Thank
What's your
you.
car payment?
$1,200.
Jeez.
How much your car payment?
$982.
Better.
I mean, you're just giving away the income every month at this point, right?
Yeah.
How much student loans we have left?
I probably have 100,000 in student loans.
That's a lot.
Add it all up in your head. I think we're doing this for the first time. How much debt do you have total?
I'm gonna say at least 180 grand.
Can you tell me?
But she's at Disney World
for the trip.
For half of it.
The other half is on what?
A Disney card.
Oh, the Disney credit card. What do you get for putting it on the Disney card versus any old other card?
It has 6 months special financing, so there's no interest for like 6 months.
Okay, so is your plan to pay it off in 6 months?
That's the plan. Yes.
That is the plan if we can do that for sure. Yeah.
That doesn't instill confidence. You're like, if we, because otherwise it's gonna like crank up to what, 29% APR or something crazy.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely.
Do you guys have any debt?
He's rethinking his life.
Yes.
How much?
My student loans, they're about 100,000.
What was your degree?
Business
Jeez.
administration.
How much total do you have in debt?
Probably around 128,000. I'd say total.
Do you ever feel like, oh, I'll just die with the debt? Like, is there a game plan to be like, I'm going to pay this off in 3 years, or is just kind of like, I'll make my payments?
It's going to be probably in about 15 years. I'm assuming I'll get it paid off. I don't know.
How old are you now?
I'm 22.
Are you guys in any kind of debt right
Jeez.
now?
What was the estimated cost of it?
People are apparently.
We spent over $10,000 on a no-budget family vacation to Disney World to
No
celebrate
budget.
paying off our house, and here's exactly where all that money went. If you've been here for a while, you know that we've been living on a pretty tight budget as we work to pay off our mortgage, so this splurge of a trip was so much fun, but you know I had to come home and plug it all into my spreadsheet, stare my spending in the face, and assess the damage and make sure that we weren't absolutely financially ruined. Even on a no-budget trip, I feel like we still did a great job with spending in alignment with our values. For us, that had us spending most of our money on the deluxe resort.
Jeez, that's a lot.
$6,268 to spend 7 nights at the Polynesian. This resort was definitely a splurge, but it had everything we wanted. Honestly, it was amazing and no regrets. We spent $1,696 on our round trip flights, and those were the cheapest economy seats available at the time. We spent $1,230 on 2 4-day park tickets, plus
that's a lot of money.
$94 to get lightning lanes for each day, which was 100% worth the extra cost, especially with a toddler. Definitely recommend getting the lightning lanes. Our next biggest expense was food. We spent $526 on quick food, $164 on sit-down food, and $420 on 3 different character meals. We spent
Jeez, that's so much money being spent.
souvenirs between a hat for my husband, ears for my daughter and I, a bubble wand, a candle, a mug, and some bath toys. But we did cut down on this cost by spending $185 on all of the Disney clothes and other merchandise that we wanted to buy before the trip to avoid the huge markup in the parks as much as possible. We also spent $197 on random travel costs like checking our bag, airport parking, and the shuttle to and from the resort. Overall, the total cost of our trip was $11,095, which honestly, like, yes, that is a ton of money. Don't get me wrong,
a ton of money.
It could have been so much more. We definitely didn't blow a bunch of money on stuff that we didn't care about, like upgrading our flight seats.
Yeah, but I bet you they're still in debt.
Room or any of that. And this is why I'm always talking about tracking your spending, because even though I wasn't on a budget this trip, because I've been tracking my spending for so long, I have a really good idea of what I actually care about and what is worth it for me to spend my money on. So then even if you're on a no budget trip and can technically splurge on anything you want, you're not going to buy things you're going to regret later, and you will leave the trip feeling like every penny you spent was absolutely worth it. We spent over
I'm paying off $100,000 worth of debt and still choosing to take a family vacation to Disney next week. And so many people have called me crazy for doing so. So I want to break down the numbers for you and see if you would make the same decision as me. To set the stage for you, we're going with my husband on a work trip to Orlando. So he would
always a work trip.
Be in Orlando because of work. This is just what it would cost for all of us to go with him and to go to Disney and Universal while we're there. Now, one of the only perks of my husband traveling frequently is that he flies exclusively Southwest, which means we get a lot of Southwest miles. So he was able to pay for my ticket, my daughter's ticket, my son's ticket, and my mother-in-law's ticket, all with points. All we had to do was pay taxes, and we ended up paying $11.20. Now, the main reason that this trip is so affordable is since my husband was already planning on being in Orlando for work, his job is paying for the hotel and the rental car, so we pay absolutely nothing. Now, the main reason that we wanted to go to Orlando specifically is so that we could take our kids to Disney. So we purchased 5 tickets, me, my husband, and my mother-in-law, and then our 2 kids. And you can see here the total for that was $990.79. Now, here's where I got very, very lucky. We're only doing 1 day at Disney this trip because my kids are very young, just so that we can feel it out. And so we wanted to do one more bigger thing while we were there, and we decided to go to Universal Studios. So this is not only for all 5 of us to go, but for my sister-in-law to go also. So 6 tickets total, and you can see down there it was going to be $1,184.28. But
I was able to work into a brand deal that I got a comp for $1,000, which means for those 6 Universal tickets, I paid $184.28. Now, obviously, this doesn't include the money that we're going to spend on food or gas while we're there, but if you were able to go to Orlando for 6 days and go to Universal and Magic Kingdom for under $1,200, even though you had debt, would you go? Just in case.
The reason why I'm spending money on it is because I feel like I lost out on my childhood just not being able to have things like this, you know? Like, just
shut the fuck up. Wait, I mean, come on.
Yeah,
Like,
I think 8 years at Disney should kind of make up for a lot of that.
You know,
Yeah.
Wait, 8 years at Disney?
We've had Disney passes for 8 years.
You can't afford. You can't afford anything. He's about to fucking walk and you're choosing Mickey? Buddy, he completely disagrees.
I love Disney.
Which is fine.
It's part. I mean, it's part of my childhood. Like,
Congratulations,
I always
turn on
wanted
the
to go.
Disney Channel. You always wanted to go. You've been going for 8 years.
So I did.
You've been going for 8 years. You've always wanted to go. You've been going for 8 years. You can pause.
Because they have new things that happen all the time at Epcot. Like you can like I like
Mickey
going.
Sticker Ginger's dick. You gotta choose.
All right.
I said the same goddamn thing.
You're standing up and you're talking about this too?
Yeah, I know Evan.
What?
I'm in credit card debt.
Nearly 100,000.
Almost half the people at Disney are going into debt.
45% of.
My question today is about
I'm a physical therapist currently enjoying.
Oh! This SoFi is $72,002.22. What the fuck is this?
Whoa.
That's another debt consolidation loan.
Oh! Say, guys, why?
For the wedding and going and traveling to see her family and going to Disneyland and
oh no,
traveling to see my family.
Yeah, let's take out a 13% personal loan for traveling. That's $70,000 minimum monthly payment. This is crazy. $1,300.
Oh my gosh.
37 cents. This is crazy. Did you just moan at me?
So I came across this.
My sister and I spent $60,000 on a Disney Vacation Club timeshare.
$60,000.
About it. Up until the week that I actually bought into Disney Vacation Club, I thought it was a total scam. I'm going to be honest. I didn't know that much about it, but just my impression was it was a scam. The story about how we got suckered into actually going to a DVC presentation is another story, but basically we went to it, we realized it actually made sense for us, and we bought into it. We own about 450 points at the Grand Floridian, and what this gets us is a 2-bedroom villa for just over a week every single year for the next 45 years. So we paid $60,000 for that up front, and then every year we also pay maintenance fees. Maintenance fees will go up every single year for the next 45 years, but right now they're around $2,000, I think. And if you're hearing me say this, you're probably thinking, wow, you got ripped off. But here's why I didn't get ripped off. So first off, one of the biggest reasons that people should not buy into DVC is if they're going to finance it. If you finance it through Disney, you'll be paying so much interest that it just doesn't make sense at all. We paid all upfront in cash, so that was one thing.
In cash, nice.
The next thing is that yes, I said 45 years. So DVC only makes sense for people who are actually going to stay at a deluxe resort in a large villa every single year for the length of their contract, and we are going to. 45 years is a lot to commit to. People might be thinking, are you really going to go to Disney every single year for the next 45 years? But I'm 29 and I've gone to Disney every single year since basically I was born, and I don't really plan on stopping. The next question is probably, so why do a timeshare? Why not just pay regular cash for the rooms every single year? And this is where actually, if you look at a spreadsheet, which we have, I'm happy to share if anyone has more questions on it, it does end up helping you save money by buying into the timeshare, by basically paying for the room price now versus in the future. And by that I mean a 2-bedroom villa.
Do you guys have any? Do you guys have?
I was going through some old.
You guys have any?
Are you guys? We should not be giving you taxpayer money if you're going to Disneyland.
Thanks for the tax.
Okay.
You're welcome. I guess I have no choice.
You're amazing.
Girl, you live in borderline poverty. Why do you have this Disney card? It's at a 36% interest rate.
Oh my gosh.
You get the worst interest rate credit cards that anyone could find.
About that. What is a trip? What does a trip to Disney cost in 2025? I have no idea.
This is our first time here, and we decided if we were going to do it, we were going to do it right. We wanted just
lightning lane, everything.
Lightning lanes, hotel. We've been married for 10 years though, and this is our first big vacation in 10 years. So it's probably going to cost us around
$8,000, I would say.
How many days at the parks is that?
That's 8 days at the park.
8 days at the park, so about $1,000 a day all in. How old's your daughter?
8.
Decent.
Okay, that's a great age. And did you pay cash?
Yeah, we just paid cash for our trip and made sure it wasn't going to affect anything. We work really hard. I mean, we're blessed. We have great jobs. We have parents that taught us finances, but it did take us a couple years to save and do it right. So
I'm so proud of you guys. Do you think it means more once you save up and pay cash for a trip versus just swiping the card?
Absolutely. When you have a goal and you and your spouse are both working towards it, and two, you come and there's no stress. And so there's no like, how are we going to pay for this or how is it going to affect us when we get back? We just knew like we could do it and it fit our budget.